Here, actually, give me just a second. Nothing to worry about, y'all. Just the usual troubles before getting set up on stream. I got a new backdrop, a new curtain. You can say thank you to my patrons, actually, for that, because I probably wouldn't have even bothered doing it if I didn't have that support. So thank you, Unbearable Bamf, and thank you, Holdington Farley, for helping me out with getting some setup done. This looks significantly nicer than it used to, and it's one of the reasons that I changed the eyeballs around my thing, whatever. This thing right here. Yeah, this. See this? That's an overlay. Yep. And that can move, and that goes there. But yeah, I changed this to black because I got a black backdrop because I've got supporters now. And I don't know, I'm just excited. I've got almost 500 subs, and I am looking forward to making this whole thing bigger than it actually is. And black backdrop is part of looking nicer and being prepared for that. Oh, cat. No, cat. Not right now. No, cat, no, please. I am live. I am doing my job. Okay, so once again, I am not doing deck techs at the beginning of videos because new people don't like deck techs. But for all of you who are presumably a little bit more in the know, I will do a deck tech for you, and then I'll start my recording. So today I am playing a black-green version of Lantern. I kind of liked the last version where I cut all of the Ancient Stirrings for Orcish Bowmasters. I still think that base black is really good for Profane Tutor, but I am basically running back a list that I played, I think it was like 2 weeks ago at this point, where I had the Boseiju. I've actually even got a Haywire Mite in the sideboard. I realized that a lot of the community has said, no, you can't play Haywire Mite, you can't play Boseiju, because we needle these things all the time. So it would kind of be like having a dead card in your deck. And while I agree with that to a certain extent, there still will be times where Boseiju is not needled and still useful. So I am going to try that out regardless. Let's see what else. I've got 4 Bloodstained Mire as my fetches because that's what I own in paper. And I am actually using this list to test for a tournament coming up. I am going to go to SCGCon Milwaukee. It was in the air for a while. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. There was a lot of BS with my work and my wife's work and a bunch of other stuff, but we made it work. I'm going to SCGCon Milwaukee, and I am going to be playing cards that I own, and cards that I own include all of these things, except the Bowmasters, because Bowmasters are heckin' expensive. But yeah, I think that this is probably something that I'm going to be playing there. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Blood Moons. I might put in Blood Moons in one event and then side them out in another. I'm not sure yet. It'll just depend on what I do when I'm scouting, what I see when I'm scouting. But yeah, this is just good old black-green Lantern control. I'm going to go ahead and boot up a league. I'll be right back. No, sir, please, not right now. No, not. Okay, thank you. All right. I am on the play in match 1 versus 𝗟𝗩𝗡. This hand does lantern things. It's got a basic swamp and overgrown tomb, which means that I can cast my Assassin's Trophy if I find them. It has a very good curve of Thoughtseize into Profane Tutor into Ensnaring Bridge. And the Mox Opal doesn't really turn on, that's why I only play one of them, as you can see here. Sometimes Mox Opal just doesn't happen. I'm going to keep this anyway, because I certainly would keep this on 6 without the Mox Opal, so I'll just keep the Mox Opal as well. Turn 1, Thoughtseize. Finds a whole bunch of burn. I do not like this. Oh boy, I do not like this. I honestly think that the Swiss Spear is probably going to cause the most damage to me over the course of the game. But Profane Tutor is going to have to go find the Underworld Cookbook for sure. Yeah, as of right now, Swiss Sphere is going to deal at least 3 damage. I am effectively at 8 right now. I'm holding the Mox Opal because I might need to discard it to the Underworld Cookbook in order to give myself some life. The hero has suspended a Rift Bolt. I am going to draw for turn. It's an Orcish Bowmaster's, not particularly good in this situation. Overgrown Tomb already causing me some pain. I've suspended a Profane Tutor, so we both got suspend spells in exile here. Orcish Bowmasters being able to chump block a Monastery Swiss Spear for a turn might actually be pretty helpful. Skewer the Critics is a card that I didn't see before, and they've got a Seal of Fire. Okay, well, I'm at 8 right now. Effective 8. Got a Bloodstained Mire that I can drop. I could drop my Ensnaring Bridge. I don't think I'm going to. I think I would rather just hold open Orcish Bowmasters, because Ensnaring Bridge would lower all the way down to 2. But that's just not good enough. They could still pop a sorcery speed spell, pop a Swift Sphere, and still swing an Underbridge. Yeah, I'm gonna hold open Bowmasters here. That Bloodstained Mire was a really good pickup. Alright, Lava Spike brings me down to 7. That Lava Spike brings me down to 4. They've got a Raucous Theater, and they are Hellbent. Chandra's Incinerator, huh? Yeah, that's a good card to have. I don't believe I'm going to crack this Bloodstained Mire. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. If I find a basic land off the top of the deck here, then I will rather just play that and keep Bloodstained Mire, like, in play, uncracked. That didn't happen, though. So I am going to fall to 3. Gonna grab basic Swamp here. And now I need to decide what I'm going to do. I have this Profane Tutor, which is kind of just doing nothing right now. So if I really wanted to, I could play Underworld Cookbook, play Pyxis, play Opal. I don't even need to play Pyxis, actually. So I could play Cookbook, Opal, discard Profane Tutor. That would bring me up to 3 mana again, because Opal would enter. And then I guess I could just Pyxis pop the food. I think I'm actually discarding Orcish Bowmasters to this Underworld Cookbook. I think I want the Profane Tutor for next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play out Underworld Cookbook here. If they top deck a Chandra's Incinerator, then they cannot cast it off of the Arena of Glory or with anything. They're hellbent right now. So I need to hedge against things like Bump in the Night, which is what I presume the Black Splash is for. Monastery Swift Sphere, Goblin Guide, all that sort of stuff would be pretty bad. But even those things will only deal a certain amount of damage to me. Do I just land bridge? No, I'm not going to just land bridge. That's very silly. I will, however, land Pyxis. And I'm just going to do this now. I'm going to discard the Orcish Bowmasters. I'm going to create a food, and I'm just going to gain the life now. All right, I'm at 6. They have 2 damage on board, so I am effectively at 4. That is a Monastery Swift Spear that will do 1 damage to me. So that means I'm at an effective 3. Ooh, that was an Urza Saga. That was a very good rip. Because what that lets me do is play Ensnaring Bridge, and then discard this Profane Tutor, and then also gain the life. So now Monastery Swift Sphere can't attack because my hand is empty for this Ensnaring Bridge. They can top deck as much burn as they want. I am at 8, 6 with a Seal of Fire here. They might have something like a Skewer the Critics or a Rift Bolt, but nah, they just go ahead and concede the game. Okay, that was really cool. I ended up winning that. Yeah, I think y'all are right. I think we found a glitch in the Matrix and we're just facing Rakdos Burn for no reason. That's actually really crazy. What do I not want? I actively do not want Thought Seizes. Thought Seizes are just terribad. I do want Duress. I do want Blood Chief's Thirst, and I want Haywire Might as just a creature that can jump block. But, like, how do I even sideboard against this deck? I haven't built my sideboard to play against burn. I mean, I guess I'm just going to keep everything else in and really rely on that Underworld Cookbook to get me where I'm going. Like, do I bring in Dreams of Steel and Oil? I don't think so. Back in the day, we would have a card called, what was it called? I'm thinking. Back in the day, we had this bad boy, Quiet Disrepair. I would play this in all of my sideboards when I was playing Lantern Control, and it was very good. It's just you gain 2 life whenever you want. You just throw it on one of your own mill rocks, and you just go to town with it. I don't play Quiet Disrepair anymore because burn doesn't exist in the meta. Oh man, but it would be really nice to have now, wouldn't it? I am probably going to keep this. It's turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Profane Tutor, turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. Urza Saga can fetch the Underworld Cookbook. Leading on a Seal of Fire. Oh, well. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. Now I can actually turn one Urza's Saga. I can play out the Underworld Cookbook. I can cast Mox Opal. I can discard probably Profane Tutor and then cast Duress. And then on turn 2, I can just have Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, that was fantastic. What a lucky draw. Right, I need to discard the card first. I think I actually might discard... Nah, no, I'm not going to get greedy. I already have the Underworld Cookbook. I'm going to go ahead and discard the Profane Tutor. And I'm going to Duress them. Okay, well, they've just got Monastery Swift Spear, Lightning Bolt, Lava Spike. I'm going to take the Bolt, I guess. What an amazing wizard battle we are having. Main board, just Shanra's Incinerator, Rakdos Burn versus main board, the Underworld Cookbook for no reason. I got Lava Spiked. They did not cast Monastery Swift Spear because presumably they're looking to play a Chandra's Incinerator here. Yeah, there you go. That is going to get stonewalled by this Ensnaring Bridge that I'm going to cast. Not gonna lie, Mox Opal looking really good with the Underworld Cookbook here. Ooh, and they blow up my Ensnaring Bridge with a top deck smash to smithereens. I fall to 6. Oh, but I top deck another Ensnaring Bridge. Dude, what is happening here? Seriously, what on earth is this game even? What is going on? Oh my god. I think I'm actually going to hold the Ensnaring Bridge, and I am going to... Oh, this guy has Trample. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Not going to hold the Ensnaring Bridge. I'm going to cast that right now. Okay, well, your last card in hand that I don't know about has to be I don't know, a thing that I care about. It is not. It deals 1 damage to each opponent when a land enters. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna take an additional point of damage here. Oh, I shouldn't have taken an additional point of damage. I could have simply just discarded the Orcish Bowmasters. Come on, mate. Come on. I should know better than that. Okay, well, now I am going to discard the Orcish Bowmasters. I'm not going to make that mistake again. And now we just start gaining life. I know what they're going to draw. I just can't manipulate it without sacrificing this lantern. That's fine. I think that the food tokens are going to help me out for a little bit. Just hoping that they don't find another smash to smithereens, mostly. Okay, I am at 5, but this Bloodstained Mire on top of my deck is going to help out quite a bit. Because now I can crack 2 foods. Ooh. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go all the way up to 10 life here. And basically anything short of a smash to smithereens, I'm not going to sacrifice my lantern for. And now I just start gaining 3 life a turn. Oh, this is really nice. That wombo combo of Underworld Cookbook plus Mox Opal really just saved my bacon. I got super lucky this game. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't actually know who M. Hayashi is, TNT Colonel. I just know I'm playing against Black Red Burn. Do they have like some sort of YouTube channel or something? Some sort of rep in the community? I'm at 16 life now. I have a Mycosynth Gardens on top of my deck. That could copy a Lantern in an emergency. It could also just copy an Ensnaring Bridge. I don't think I'm going to be discarding that. Yeah, I'm at a high enough life total to where that just doesn't matter anymore. I love gaining life. I love being at a super high life total against Burn. Oh, this is lovely. They do have triple Iridescent Vine Lasher now, and that kind of worries me a little bit. Especially with the Offspring Clause on that. I don't think that I can afford to do anything about it, though. Possible that they should have been holding these Vine Lashers in hand so they could Offspring them. Oh, but they're just not even casting it. That's interesting. So I am going to prepare for the second phase of this epic wizard battle, and I am just going to gain as much life as I possibly can. Another Mycosynth Gardens, huh? Do I gain 3 life from this, or do I just play it? I think I'm just going to play it. Mycosynth Gardens is going to be really handy. I think I might actually need to start keeping them off of lands at some point. Ooh, Eidolon of the Great Revel. Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. Fortunately, I don't think it matters that much anymore. And this second Mycosynth Gardens means that I can hold open, copy, and Snaring Bridge if I need to. Fortunately, once I play literally a single Millrock of any kind, then I don't have to cast spells for the rest of the game. Oh, that Profane Tutor, though. I think I will suspend it. I just don't want to. Fortunately, Suspend allows me to choose if I want to cast it or not. So if there's a Millrock underneath this Assassin's Trophy, that I'm just going to not choose to cast it. I think I need to cast it, unfortunately. Okay, well, I am in a bit of a pickle. It's not a super big pickle. And this pickle is that they have 4 Iridescent Vine Lashers in play, so a fetch land would deal 8 to me. And casting this Profane Tutor would put me at 18. I'd be at 14 from casting the Millrock. I would go up to 17 by discarding my card for turn and firing off the Underworld Cookbook. And then I would be at an effective 12 because of the Bolts and Sealifiers. I think that is an acceptable proposition here. I think I'm just gonna have to take my medicine on this. I will grab Pyxis of Pandemonium because they are lower on cards in library than I am. Oh, that's an Codex Shredder though. No, I'm just gonna discard that Codex Shredder. I need to be disciplined here. I will just keep this food token in play. Because this turn, I need to activate these Mycosynth Gardens and have them become copies of these Pyxides. And I'm just not going to have enough mana to do everything. And now I need to think about if I want them to have this Blood Crypt. This is a 4-ball to me right now. It could become more later on. I think I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, Chandra's Incinerator is fine. Urza's Saga is really good. I do not believe I'm going to put it into play. I think I just need the life right now. And I'm going to pop my foods immediately. I'm not going to fart around. Like, yeah, the temptation is there to put the Urza Saga into play and go grab like a Codex Shredder or something, but I just don't need to. I just need to be extremely disciplined. Wow, that turn 1 Underworld Cookbook has gained me a ton of life. It's probably the only reason I'm even alive right now. And they give it up. I understand why. It's just, wow. I kind of got super lucky here. Like the turn 1 Underworld Cookbook plus the Mox Opal to kind of just make everything happen. That was a really nice sequence. Again, like I know that like Mox Opal looked really good, but that was kind of a fluke, I think. And not every deck that you play against is going to be Rakdos Burn, you know, where Underworld Cookbook and Mox Opal are specifically really good together. Sir, what are you doing? Oh. I think I'm just going to take my wins where I can get them, and I am going to move on to the next match. I am going to address chat for a little bit. They've heard of this player more than a few times. They do wild and experimental builds, huh? And yeah, this is a really interesting build. Eidolons, I'm not convinced are super duper good in the meta right now. There are a lot of Solitudes and Quantum Riddlers and stuff like that, but it, you know, if it's working out for them, it works out for them. And good morning, Yuki. It's nice to see you in chat. And it's okay, Flexo. This whole thing will be wrapped up in a video for League number 56, and I actually have upgraded my setup. So now I can theoretically upload a video later in the same day. So I only need to do a very minimal amount of editing. It takes a lot less time for me to push things out. And I am actually experimenting with that setup today. This is the first league in which this new upgraded setup that I'm using is going to be in effect. But yeah, give me a second. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to start match 2. All right, we're just waiting for the next match to start. Happy birthday, Yuki. It's about 6 days early, but you know, still. And yeah, Flex, so this entire thing, everything that you see on screen here, I have custom made. The process that I use to convert live streams into videos is actually incredibly involved. And there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. It took me a while to get it to where it is now. It is not just simply cutting the VOD and pasting it together. There's a lot more stuff that happens besides that. I am on the play again in match 2 versus turn 1 Blood Moon. Dear God. Oh, man. Not in this format, I hope. Jeez. This hand is a bit clunky. It's got Saga and 2 Mill Rocks, so I guess I'll keep it. I would much rather have a 3rd land than these 3 2-drops, but, you know, you just do what you can, I suppose. I think I will actually grab... Do I want to take the 2 life and get Overgrown Tomb? No, I don't think so. I didn't spend the 2 life to grab Overgrown Tomb, even though I have this Assassin's Trophy in hand. I just don't want to lose the life, I suppose. And if I grab a 2nd land or a 3rd land somewhere, there's a decent chance that it's going to be green. Spirebluff Canal, blue into Pinnacle Emissary. Dear God. All right, Profane Tutor's probably not going to be fast enough. So our opponent here is on Affinity. The Claws of Gix gives away that they are on a weapons manufacturing build. And there's our Bloodstained Mire. So I could go grab a black-green land with that if I really wanted to. I'm not going to right now, but I could if I wanted. Fortunately, no Mox Opal from the hero here. Seems like that would be pretty damn scary. Although they could drop Kappa Cannoneer right now if they wanted to. Which is potentially even more scary. Yep, here's Kappa. Here it comes. Here it comes. I will be taking a single hit from this Kappa Cannoneer regardless of what I do here. Ugh, this is not looking good for me. There's a Lantern of Insight on top of my deck. Or rather, in hand now. So, I can do a number of different things here. I can play Lantern and suspend Profane Tutor, grab the Underworld Cookbook off of this Urza Saga, and start discarding cards. I could play Assassin's Trophy on an Urza Saga, I guess. I don't think that's particularly good. I could play out Lantern and Shredder now. Start controlling the top card of everyone's decks. But still be left with Profane Tutor in hand. I think I need to get Profane Tutor out of my hand. I think this starts with Lantern of Insight to see what everyone is going to be drawing. What I'm going to be drawing doesn't matter because I'm going to be shuffling my deck next turn with that Profane Tutor anyway. So the question is, do I suspend another Profane Tutor now? I think the answer to this is yes, and I hope to hit a land so that I can play Shredder into Ensnaring Bridge. I could just cast Codex Shredder now, leave the Assassin's Trophy or whatever in my hand. Is there really a difference between a bridge lowered to 1 and a bridge lowered to 2? I don't think so. In that case, I think it actually would be better for me to drop this Codex Shredder. But I'm not going to. I'm going to get Profane Tutor started. This is a really interesting situation. Okay, I'm going to take at least 8 here. probably much more than that. Fiery Islet is in play. If they pop that for weapons manufacturing, I think I have to take weapons manufacturing. They just have an active Claws of Gix. I'm falling to 10 here. Not a particularly comfortable life total. And they are holding everything open. What does that mean? That means that they might be representing Metallic Rebuke. I am going to exile with Pyxis here and see if I can convince the hero to... Nope, I didn't convince them to crack their Fiery Islet. Looks like they are hard representing Metallic Rebuke. They might even have 2 of them based on how they've left their mana open. Well, I am pretty much priced into Ensnaring Bridge here. And I might also need a backup discard spell, just to make sure that I don't jam directly into a Metallic Rebuke. So I am going to activate Pyxis. Oh, so now they can just draw into the Metallic Rebuke if they want. Oh, and I had an Inquisition underneath the top card of my deck. Okay. All right. Come on. If they pop Fiery Islet here, then that'll tell me that they don't actually have the Rebuke, and I will just make them shuffle with Lantern, and then I will go grab another Lantern, I suppose. Really thinking about this, is the answer to this problem just grab Codex Shredder and hope they don't have Rebuke? I think I'm going to do that because I need to leave everything up. Like if I had grabbed something else and they had just popped Fiery Islet with the Urza Saga on the stack, or rather, if they had popped Fiery Islet with Codex Shredder on the stack and I didn't have a Shredder in play, then I would have had to sacrifice my Lantern to do that. And now we just pray they don't have a Rebuke. They are hard holding open Rebuke, and I think they have it. Oh, nope, they're drawing a card. I'm gonna mill that Rebuke off the top of your deck. They gotta sink into Stupor. Wow, yep. Now I'm gonna take that. You can have a Mox Opal, mate. Engineered Explosives, huh? Do I make them shuffle off of an Engineered Explosives reveal? They could pretty easily set that to 1, and with the Mox Opal in hand, they could also activate it. That's really tricky. I would lose my entire lock. I think I have to make them shuffle. I just think I can't afford having that EE on top of the deck. I would lose everything. So they have 5 cards in hand. I only know 1 of them. Just reading this really quick. And yeah, nowhere to run. That works against Kappa Cannoneer. That's true. I don't know if I'm going to play that myself, but it's an option. Okay, so the hero didn't grab like a pithing needle or something like that. They just grabbed a Mishra's Bauble, probably in an attempt to dig to outs. Oh, don't tell me you had the engineered explosives anyway. Wow. All right, well, heck me, I guess. I'm just gonna let whatever happens happen. So that's my entire lot gone, despite my best efforts. I am going to take 2 here because I wasn't able to fully lower Ensnaring Bridge. Oh, I have a Profane Tutor on Suspend. That's interesting. I kind of forgot about this, to be honest. It did resolve. I didn't need to get this Assassin's Trophy out of my hand. Do I literally just grab Boseiju here so that I can cast the trophy? That feels bad. I don't like that. Do I just grab the Mox Opal that was on top of my deck anyway? This Assassin's Trophy being stuck in hand really sucks. I'm gonna grab Boseiju. And I'm gonna draw a land anyway, and I'm just gonna die because that's just how it works. Oh my god, I called it. That's really funny. I couldn't blame you for grabbing Cookbook in that situation, Yuki. I just don't think that I want to. Ooh, they played Weapons Manufacturing. Okay. Well, I am going to trophy the heck out of that. And they had the Rebuke, huh? Okay. Yep, that Weapons Manufacturing stays in play then. Claws of Gix is active. I need to find a solution for that. Urza Saga is eventually a solution for that, but now I am drawing running lands. And I'm going to fall to 4. I don't know, y'all. I don't think I'm getting out of this. So they've warped into Pinnacle Emissary. Oh yeah, they can just warp in another Pinnacle Emissary here. So now I need to top deck exactly Pithing Needle. And if I don't top deck Pithing Needle, I lose. It's just another land. You've gotta be kidding me. Okay. I get it. I don't think I was winning this game. Maybe there was another line that I could have taken with that Profane Tutor. But wow, that was really rough. That was just extremely difficult to handle. Give me a second. So how do I want to play against Affinity? I believe Grafdigger's Cage is bad against them, but I want to keep the Underworld Cookbook in. Thoughtseize is not great. Duress would help with that a little bit. I'm not sure I want it, though. Assassin's Trophy was kind of awkward in that game. I think I kind of want the Haywire Might. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Haywire. I'm gonna put Haywire Might in. I might side out my Thoughtseizes, actually, and bring in instead my Dreams of Steel and Oil, Duress, and Bloodchief's Thirst. Okay, I'm gonna run it like this. And I need to win these next two games relatively quickly. Losing 8 minutes on my clock is kind of sucky. Yeah, I guess I'll keep this hand. I will actually lead on Dreams of Steel and Oil. Maybe I can collapse their hand here. Come on, mate. You know that you're not playing Force of Negation. Oh my god, they're playing Force of Negation. What on earth is going on? Alright. Well, I took Emery out of that hand. What a crazy hand they had. I did not like that at all. Oh, I could just land a lock now if I want to. I think instead I am going to fetch out my Overgrown Tomb and I'm going to suspend Profane Tutor. I'm going to make an attempt to overload that Force of Negation that they have. And they are taking a significantly slower posture than last game. I could suspend Profane Tutor again. Ooh, or I could play Pithing Needle on Urza's Saga. That actually might be the play. I am going to cast Lantern of Insight here. Let's see if they force this. Metallic Rebuke, you got it. No, I'm not going to pay to prevent that. I am, however, going to land this Pithing Needle, and I will certainly name Urza's Saga if this resolves. And if it doesn't resolve, then it's taking that Force of Negation and the Sink into Stupor out of their hand, which is going to be really good for me. Yep, there it goes. Force of Negation, Sink into Stupor. You got it. So now that Sink into Stupor is out of hand, they can't sink my Profane Tutor that's on suspend here. They didn't consign it either. This is going to resolve, right? Please let this resolve. Okay, this resolved. So I could get just straight up Lantern, and I think actually I will. Would love to draw a land here. Instead, I drew another Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, well, I'm going to play out my lock now. The hero has 2 cards in hand that I don't know about. Uh-oh, they're doing something. They're consigning Lantern. All right, sure. Well, that means that I'm not facing a construct this turn. And they're rebuking my Pyxis. Yeah, you got it. So now we are all just kind of running low on resources. They've got an Urza Saga that's about to pop. I've got nothing that I'm doing. They're making their construct. And they found a Lava Spur Boots, pairing it with Spirebluff Canal. They're just going to try and kill me now. If I draw a land of any type, then I can just slam Ensnaring Bridge and slow this down considerably. I did put an extra land in my deck. Let's see if I can find it. Bloodchief's Thirst. I will take that. It's got Ward 1. That's fine. Okay, now the hero has 2 cards in hand. I've got 3. I am still in a land waiting room. And if I don't find the land, then I can just play Profane Tutor. But it looks like they're doing something with this Pinnacle Emissary. Okay, so that's going to give them a 1/1. And then they can just have a 3/3 next turn. I'm falling to 8. It's not super comfortable. I would really love a land here. Basic Swamp. Love to see it. Okay, so now I'm still facing down this drone token, and that is going to eventually kill me. But I am starting to get these Ensnaring Bridges down. If I can find another land, or even a Mox Opal, then I can get low enough cards in hand to where this drone token can't attack me. They would have to equip it to another creature, which they have another creature now, so I guess that wouldn't actually be that bad. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Ugh, that's another Profane Tutor. I am going to slam Ensnaring Bridge number 2. And if I draw a land next turn, then I can double suspend Profane Tutor. I'm not feeling particularly confident. Hopefully just swinging for 2 is the worst that they can do here. Not having a lock feels bad. Just kind of hoping these bridges help. Well, they've got an Engineered Explosives on 1 now. Do I get the land? Yes, I do. That's fantastic. I am actually going to play that. I'm not going to pop it and kill the Engineered Explosives. I'm just going to get my hand empty now. All right, it was nice to know that they didn't have anything to play. They just played their land that they ripped off the top of their deck. I'm going to cast this Mox Opal that I ripped off the top of mine. And now they need something really, really good here. A Pinnacle Emissary is decent, but it's not good enough. All right, so both these Profane Tutors are going to resolve. I am going to grab... I think I'm going to grab Haywire Might, actually. No, I'm not going to grab Haywire Might. I'm going to grab Pithing Needle. And with this one, I'm going to grab Lantern of Insight. Duress, huh? Well, Duress wasn't a great pickup. I just have to burn that now. Oh, I played Lantern of Insight first. Oh, come on, mate. That's so dumb of me. I should have played Pithing Needle first. What was I thinking? Well, have myself shuffle. That was just an obvious punt. Super obvious punt. I'm still gonna name Engineered Explosives. Just gonna let them play out their board, I guess. With Mishra's Bauble, they're gonna see what I draw. Okay, and it's just an Assassin's Trophy. And yeah, Yuki, it did nick their boots, but the boots are almost completely irrelevant here. All right, they're just moving to combat. That's good. I'm gonna tag their basic island. I don't think this matters. Oh, they just had Galvanic Blast. Who plays Galvanic Blast in Affinity these days? All right, well, I did a little bit of a punt, but actually it wasn't a little bit of a punt. It was a lot of a punt. It was a pretty big punt, and I think that might have actually cost me the match. But we traded resources a lot this game. And at the end of the day, it was just, I didn't have a lock. They countered all of my stuff. The EE coming down again. Like, if I had just the breathing room to grab Lantern and Pyxis, I think this game would have been over. But, you know, I didn't have that breathing room. And now we are facing a match loss. That's all right. I'm going to do better for match 3. I'll be right back. All right, I am on the draw in match 3 versus Wiltron92. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't have a ton of action in it, but it does have a lock and Thoughtseize. Lock being very eventual with this Urza Saga. Blooming Marsh finally deciding to show up. Hello, Blooming Marsh. Grafdigger's Cage, huh? I think I am just going to lead on Thoughtseize, though. And we've got Goblins. So I think out of this hand, I am going to take the Mog War Marshal. Yeah, this is the new one from the Lorwyn Eclipsed. When it enters, it is a Thoughtseize, but it only reveals... Oh, it's kind of more like a blackmail, isn't it? And it lets them cast instant and sorceries if they nick one of those. Yeah, but they need to get up to 3 mana to do that, and they have 2 of them. I'm going to take the Mogg War Marshal. Skirk Prospector has hit the bin off of this Raucous Theater. They're just playing Blackleaf Cliffs and passing back to me. Oh, I have Lantern Pyxis now. So how important do I think Grafdigger's Cage is going to be in this matchup? The answer is kind of important, I suppose. Not super important. Let's just go ahead and play the Lantern first. Oh, they have a Boggart Harbinger. So they probably got that conspicuous Snoop, what's it called? The Kiki Jiki combo. I am going to actually grab Pyxis here because that just completely negates Harbinger. I wonder if they're playing Ether Vials for instant speed Taster of Wares. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'm just not gonna really care about what you do with this Harbinger. I'm probably just gonna exile it with Pyxis regardless. But they did put Mogg War Marshal on top. I don't have an Ensnaring Bridge coming. But I do kind of want to use this Inquisition of Kozilek on them. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and use Inquisition of Kozilek. Underworld Cookbook isn't fantastic in this spot. I need an Ensnaring Bridge, honestly. Okay, the Munitions Expert is what they had that I didn't know about. I think I'd rather just take a Taster of Wares just because it's power and toughness, though. And I will empty my hand. Going to play out Lantern of Insight and Grafdigger's Cage. Mogg War Marshal is going to come down. Or at least into their hand. Blood Crypt is their land for turn. Yeah, it enters tap, that's fair. They don't have anything to do with 4 mana. Taster of Wares is coming down, though, and I am going to show them my... Wow! Wait, what? That's my land gone. It's not Thoughtseize, it can take lands? What kind of nonsense is this? I demand a refund. That's insane to me. I didn't think that it could take lands. Well, that sucks, actually. That sucks pretty bad for me. I'm gonna go ahead and create my construct. And I am going to cry. Oh, man. Let's go ahead and grab this Codex Shredder. I know they have a Munitions Expert in hand. I'm hoping that this construct just outgrows that. Fetching with Bloodstained Mire. Don't want the Munitions Expert, I guess. Alright, Mogg War Marshal is coming down. Just gonna go ahead and read the text on Munitions Expert really quickly. Target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of goblins you control. So that is face up. I think I am going to attempt to dig myself into an ensnaring bridge. If I block the Trader of Wares, then I will take 2. I'll suspend Profane Tutor. Turn after that, I will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll take 5 again. And then I will survive at... I'll have like 3 life I can play with, really 2 life. I think that's okay. I think I am actually going to block this Trader of Wares and kill it. Knowing full well that the construct is going to die to a munitions expert. That's with the Profane Tutor on top of my deck. I have draw control established. Okay, Profane Tutor is under suspend now. They're paying the echo cost as is expected. Blood Crypt is their draw. What on earth is this? When it enters or transforms, return up to 1 target goblin from your graveyard to your hand. When it attacks, you can do something, so I don't care about that. It's when it enters or transforms, you can return a goblin. So that means that if I allow them to draw this, then I have to be aware of what goblins I put into their graveyard for the rest of the game. Currently, they have Mogg War Marshal, Skirk Prospector, and Taster of Wares that cannot break through any sort of lock, really. I think I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want them having that. They could have like a land or a Skirk Prospector or really anything underneath of this grub, and it would be not that big of a deal. Okay, here we go. Skirk Prospector. I am comfortable with what everyone's going to be drawing. Suspend is going to be kicking off next turn. And yeah, I think that this game is getting very close to locked. I'm going to be at 3 life, which is what I predicted earlier. I'm just going to hold everything open. I want this Profane Tutor to come off suspend. And I'm going to grab Ensnaring Bridge here. Inquisition of Kozilek is a fine pickup. I just needed something that I could cast. Literally anything that I could cast. All right. And we enter the second phase of the game. I have draw control. I can see what they're going to draw. I can manipulate it if I want to. And I will be doing that a little bit. Ooh, Conspicuous Snoop is a big no-no. You may not have that. Oh, it's another Eclipse card. So they can behold a goblin to have this enter. It can't block, but when it dies, you destroy a creature an opponent controls. Okay, so they can't even destroy their own creatures? Yeah, that's fine. And now we just play the game of making each other mill out. Or rather, now we just play the game of me milling them out. That's what I meant to say. I'm just going to draw this trophy. I'm going to fire it off immediately. It doesn't really matter on what. Oh, hang on. Probably should have waited till the draw step to do that. Go ahead and save targets on this Codex Shredder, save myself a little bit of time. And the big part of this part of the game is just being super efficient with your F6 keys and your F0 keys. F6 through the rest of your turn, F0 through the rest of your opponents. I'm going to keep that Cavernous Souls on top of their deck, actually. I still don't have a super strong lock. Oh, they are playing Ether Vials. Okay, that's great. That's good information to have. If you are the opponent in this spot, just concede the game. Don't give me any more information. Now I know that they have Ether Vials. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything with this information, but, you know, now I know. This one can sacrifice a goblin to make me lose life. So that is just a no. That's just a straight up no. I'm going to F6 here. I'm going to attempt to just have this be shuffled away. I kind of want the Pyxis on top of my deck. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a Marg. They can have a Mog War Marshal. Doesn't do anything here. Now I've got 3 rocks. I'm feeling fairly confident. I'm going to have 4 here in a second because I'm probably not going to be Pyxising them unless I absolutely have to. I don't know. They're running pretty low on deck. I'm just going to go ahead and take it. Oh, there is, huh, Yuki? I will be aware of that. Thank you. There's the Kiki Jiki that I knew was in the deck. I chose not to cast Profane Tutor. I don't need to. Take a card at random, doesn't matter. Kill a creature at random, it doesn't matter. And this will be their last draw for the game. Okay, well, I did a little bit of math on that, and it resulted in a fairly easy win. I'm going to restart my client. I'm just waiting for the interface to load. Really should be better about restarting my client in between rounds. Oh my god, come on, please do something. I'm not gonna have time to sideboard at this point. Literally just staring at this thing do nothing for like 5 minutes. Okay. I did not have a chance to sideboard because I restarted the client in between sideboarding and it just took 5 minutes to load for no reason. So this hand has Thoughtseize, it has half of a lock, it has a decent chunk of consistency. I am going to keep this. Oh, at least the client is faster now. I probably would have loved to side out like Grafdigger's Cage or something like that. But that's just not going to happen. Blooming Marsh, decent pickup, I suppose. Gonna Thoughtseize them. They've got a Snoop and a Taster of Wares. I think I need to get rid of the Snoop, unfortunately. As much as I would have loved to get rid of the Taster of Wares. They bend a Boggart Trawler. I'm going to take 2. Another Blooming Marsh is not what I needed. Basically, anything would have been better than 3rd Blooming Marsh. All right, here comes the Taster of Wares. They're going to have... I can show them 2 cards here. You know what? You can have these 2 cards. Choose one of my lands. There we go. Problem of 3rd Blooming Marsh has been solved. Thanks, Taster of Wares. Oh, that is an Orcish Bowmasters. I could clear their entire board with that. I think I'm actually going to. Temptation's too strong. I could suspend Profane Tutor, but instead I'm going to blow them out with this Orcish Bowmasters. Heck yeah, let's go. Gonna ping down this guy. Oh. Well, I guess if I had read the cards properly, then I would have seen that that was not how to do things. I'm not gonna block. I'm gonna save that for a bigger dude, I guess. Four mana for a Goblin Trashmaster, huh? Sacrifice a goblin, destroy target artifact. Well, I am going to have to answer that. And I think it will be with... Could be with Assassin's Trophy. I think Pithing Needle's just better, though. Okay, so now I have the Mycosynth Gardens. I need to suspend Profane Tutor here, and I need to put Pithing Needle on the Trashmaster. As things stand right now... I'm going to be at 1 if they don't play anything on the board right now. Wow. Yeah, I think I actually made a mistake. I should have suspended Profane Tutor the turn that I played out Orcish Bowmasters. And I should have done Bowmasters correctly. I think I'm going to lose this game because of that. I need a top-decked Ensnaring Bridge right now, or else I am dead. Yeah, Profane Tutor would have been coming off suspend right now, but I chose not to do it. Okay, well played. So I am going to actually do sideboarding now. Knowing that they have Goblin Trashmasters makes me want another Pithing Needle, but I don't have one in this build, unfortunately. So instead, I'm going to bring in Bloodchief's Thirst. Dreams of Steel and Oil is going to come in as well. Grafdigger's Cage. I don't think I want Grafdigger's Cage. Duresses I don't want. Thinking about the Underworld Cookbook here. I think I can get by without Cookbook. But I could just side out a trophy, which I think I will do. And rely on Bloodchief's Thirst to be my removal. This is a hand that I could keep. It would be turn 1 Mycosynth Gardens, Pyxis, turn 2 Saga Dreams, turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. Really glad that I kept that Underworld Cookbook in the deck. I'm going to keep this. It's a bit risky, but I am going to keep it. All right, this has to be the Mycosynth Gardens because I'm going to need this to make black mana next turn. Mog War Marshal, that's fine. Yeah, Ashiok does hinder them, but it doesn't actually really do much. And it's a 3 mana play. I really need a 3 mana play to really have an impact. That's an Underworld Cookbook. I think I am just going to play out my Urza Saga, though. And then I'm going to cast Dreams of Steel and Oil, and I'm going to filter through the Mycosynth Gardens. They have Grub, they have Mog Fanatic, they have War Marshal, they have a Boggart Harbinger. I think I take the Grub. Bloodstained Mire is their land play for turn. And they can probably cast the Mog War Marshal now if they want to. Looks like that's what they're doing. Tapping Cavern of Souls for colorless like a Chad. All right, so I'm facing down 4 power worth of attackers here. I could just play out this Orcish Bowmasters now, or I could play Ensnaring Bridge while I know it's going to happen. And I think I will do that. Didn't pay the Echo on the War Marshal, so now that can't attack. Cavern of Souls as their play means that I don't know one card in their hand. Hopefully it's not a Trash Master. That would suck. Holding open Munitions Expert here. And I found a Pithing Needle. I'm gonna have trouble emptying my hand here. Oh wait, no I'm not. Because I have Underworld Cookbook in hand. So I can literally just tap this for mana. I can search my deck for a Lantern of Insight. I can cast Pithing Needle. And I'm going to name the Trash Master here. Going to cast Pyxis. Going to cast the Underworld Cookbook. And now I need to decide if I want them having this Kiki Jiki. And I think the answer to that is no. So I will be exiling that on their upkeep. And the Meltdown, dear God. All right, Phyrexian Tower is their draw for turn. Still one card in hand that I don't know about. I think I just have to assume that it's nothing. Orcish Bowmasters is now out of my hand thanks to the cookbook, so they can't attack. I am just going to land Lantern here, and we are going to lock into a game. Or settle into a game, I suppose. I am going to double check the text on Goblin Trashmaster just to make sure that Pithing Needle does actually shut it off here. Yeah, sacrifice a goblin, destroy target artifact. That does not do anything to me now. Oops, I passed turn when I didn't mean to. I smacked my mouse against my keyboard and the hotkey just made me pass turn. Fortunately, it doesn't matter. Okay, don't lose control of this game, mate. Don't lose control of the game. I will find a basic swamp here. I'm going to make a copy of Pyxis. And I'm going to pop my food because that's free now. I'm actually going to try and dig myself into some mill rocks. Not with Grub on top of their deck, though. Not with Conspicuous Snoop on top of their deck either, dear God. Okay, I found an Inquisition of Kozilek. With these two swamps in play, I can cast that. And their unknown card is a Cavern of Souls. Okay. Go ahead and take the Harbinger out of their hand. And now they really just have absolutely nothing going on. Now I just need to focus on winning the game. I am going to turn off my hand tracker, or I'm rather going to stop updating it. And I'm just going to focus on making sure that they can't wriggle out of this. Goblin Trashmaster is down. I have that Pithing Needle, so that doesn't matter that much. They have Pithing Needles in their deck. That's interesting. Grub, I don't think I can handle... Actually, I can handle Grub. Grub is not really that big of a deal right now, yeah? If I can handle them having a Goblin Harbinger, then I can handle them having a Grub. I have 3 pick sides. Yeah, I'm gonna let them have Grub. They know that Grub is useless, thank goodness. Maybe I'll eventually want to turn on this Fomori Vault, huh? Maybe not. Maybe it just doesn't matter. I will address chat once the game is over, I promise. Just don't want to do it right now. Chat, as the elephant in the room, says, address me. Ooh. Discarded Assassin's Trophy to Underworld Cookbook. Not even going to make a food token off that discard, it just doesn't matter. And this right here is one of the many reasons why I like playing all of these pick sides. There's just so much random BS in the format that has stuff come out of the graveyard and happen in the graveyard. Like this Grub, if I had a bunch of creatures in their graveyard right now, like it would just be so powerful. But I've been exiling everything. So Grub just doesn't really do anything now. I think the hero is attempting to use the clock against me. They've been tapping mana a bit weird. Doesn't really matter, I'm just F-zeroing through everything. Maybe they're just being silly, I don't know. Oh, they have a Skirt Prospector in play anyway. So that means that with Grub, they could get infinite ETBs leave the battlefield triggers. Although not infinite, I guess, because it has to flip, you know? So I don't think it matters that much. Oh, well, they dealt 1 damage to me off the Mog Fanatic. Okay, yeah, I guess they could do that, couldn't they? So yeah, I'm now taking 1 damage every 2 turns. Hey, it's a line. Wiltron 92 out here fighting the good and noble fight. Oh, look at that. They've got grub on both sides now. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. I like that. You know what? I will humor my opponent here. They've put up such a valiant effort. I will actually gain some life out of respect for their loop that they have going on. They're desperately fetching in an attempt to keep that Siege Gang Lieutenant in their deck. It will work for a little bit of time, but this is actually their last draw of the game, so it's not going to matter that much. Now I just need to make sure to not mill myself out on my own upkeep, and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to let them execute their combo. They're having fun, it looks like. Well, guess what? I'm having fun too. Exile the top card of your deck. Exile the top card of your deck again. Goodbye, Siege Gang Lieutenant. I presume. Yeah, so they are going to use Boggart Harbinger to keep Siege Gang Lieutenant in their deck. It just doesn't matter at this point, though. Exile that Pithing Needle. Exile that Siege Gang Lieutenant. And that is a concession. So they had a pretty slow start this game, I'm not gonna lie. That was a relatively slow start. I knew that the Goblin Trashmaster was coming, so I was able to Pithing Needle it. Not that it really mattered at that stage of the game when they started seeing their Trashmasters, but, you know, just did Lantern things. It was a really good time. I am going to move on to match 4 now, actually. All right, now I'm going to address chat for a little bit. Flexo again, right here. You can't tutor things to the top of the deck. You can tutor things to the bottom of your deck. You can tutor things to exile. And then do nothing with them, I guess. Can't see your, what was that? Oh, that was the thing falling down. I can't see your username very well. I believe it's Ogodi. If you're still here, hello to you too. Thanks for watching. There is a goblin from Lorwyn that pings whenever another goblin dies. Dear God, I don't want to be doing that. Okay, Side Salad 8 is saying that they are making a vintage lantern deck. Okay, that's really cool, actually. If you're part of the Lantern Control Discord, could you please put that list in there? I would really love to see what you've got working. I'm assuming, is it, I'd like to know if it's actual full power vintage, if you're doing vintage minus the power 9 or unpowered vintage, or if you're doing value vintage. But we'll have to see about that. Okay, now I am moving on to match 4. Okay. Boggart Curse Crafter, Yuki says. Whenever another goblin you control dies, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Wow. Yeah, that would be a problem. It likes bones. It likes angry bones. I don't like angry bones. I don't like curse crafters. I don't like boggarts. But yeah, check out the description of this live stream or video. I guess I'm not going to be putting this into the video, so it's a live stream. Check out the description of this live stream. You should see a link to the Discord in there. Having full power. So that means that you are maxing out on Tezzeret Cruel Kraftens, right? Just Tezzeret just tutors out the entire lock. You can cast it on turn 1, and it does all sorts of other nasty things. You know, if we can get your list working, I actually might be interested in playing it on the channel at some point. I haven't really put a lot of work into putting Lantern into Vintage, honestly. But if you can get something that looks good, I'm gonna play it. Seems like it would be really nice. We did have a boggart overlaid on the screen. Oh god. Yeah, you're right, Yuki. I had Whir of Invention on screen, just covering it for the entire first match and a half of a stream. That was awkward. I also had to go into my metadata, my recorded metadata, and I had to manually edit it out so that when I rendered the video, it didn't show it on screen for the first match and a half. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. Oh, looks like we have finally found an opponent. You know, Extirpate is there's a really good argument for that in Vintage, I think. I am on the draw in match 4 versus Light Spirit. I don't think I can keep this. It just doesn't really do much, you know? I've got half of a log. I don't have any bridges or anything, really. So I am going to ship that back, and I think I'm going to keep this instead. What do I bottom out of this hand, though? I could bottom the Underworld Cookbook. I could bottom the Mox Opal. I think I'm going to bottom the Mox Opal, actually. I've already got 3 lands. Basic Forest into Utopia Sprawl Gamer. They are on red. This is almost certainly red-green Eldrazi. I am going to fetch a Overgrown Tomb here. I think the difference between 17 and 15 life is not really going to be that much. And yeah, against this opponent, I certainly, absolutely want to be having access to green so that I can Boseiju things if I need to. Gonna take a Malevolent Rumble out of that hand. They'll still have another one, don't worry. All right, Malevolent Rumble number 2 is down. And they have a Vibrance. Let's take a nice close look at Vibrance here. When it enters, if red was spent to cast it, it deals 3 damage to any target. Or you can spend green and search your deck for a land card and then gain 2 life. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. 3 damage to any target means that they could throw it at my face if they wanted to. I don't like that. I do like having another Urza Saga, and I do like suspending Profane Tutor. And the hero's kind of just drawing wild here. They're going to be drawing wild for another couple of turns. They've got something big they're casting. Is this a Sowing Mycospawn? Or are they just hard casting the Vibrance right now? Wow, they just hard casted the Vibrance right now. They found red, red, and green, green. So they get everything. This doesn't have trample, does it? No, it doesn't have trample. And the land that they found was an Eldrazi Temple. So there's still 1 card in hand that I don't know about. Emrakul will eventually be a problem, but I'm not really worried about it right now. What I am worried about is taking some damage from this 4/4 Vibrance. So I think I'm going to play out my Underworld Cookbook, and I'm going to use Bowmasters to chump block for a little bit. One, two, four, 6. 4 card types in their graveyard. Oh, that's a Sowing Mycospawn that they just hard cast, huh? I don't like that. That's going to make this a little bit more difficult. Flashing in Bowmasters now. And I'm going to deal 1 to their face. I'm going to make some chump blockers. And they have an Emrakul to Promise to End in hand that I eventually need to worry about. I don't know if I need to worry about it right now, but it does eventually need to go away. Although I suppose if they did cast it next turn, then that means that they could force me to discard my hand with this Underworld Cookbook, and they could make Urza Saga not happen. They are only 2 mana away from doing that. They found a commercial district here, presumably to surveil something good to the top of their deck, hopefully, for them. And they put something on top. I don't like that. If it's an Eldrazi Temple, then I am getting Emrakul'd right now. Oh, it's a Formidable Speaker? Are you serious? Why are you playing Formidable Speaker in this list? When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a World Breaker? Seriously? Oh my god. And they discarded the... Oh my god, that's not good. Alright, yeah. World Breaker is a problem. Oh, I found a lantern, though. I found a lantern. So that means I need to survive a hit from World Breaker. I think I grab a Pyxis here, actually. I'm going to make a copy of Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, I'm making a copy of Ensnaring Bridge because if that World Breaker removes my bridge, then I am pretty much dead. So I will do this now before they can cast World Breaker. Just gonna hold this Assassin's Trophy in hand. Oh, but if I hold this trophy in hand, then they can start swinging with Formidable Speakers. I'm gonna have to decide if I want to cast this trophy later on, or if I want to discard it to this Underworld Cookbook. All right, World Breaker's coming down. They're gonna hit a bridge with it. I think now that they've spent their turn doing that, I believe it is safe to hold this Assassin's Trophy for a turn. For one turn. I really want to hit this Shifting Woodland with it. I guess they don't have anything worth copying in their graveyard, though. At least not yet. I can afford to fall to 9. I'm going to chump with Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters has gained me 6 life this game. If I draw a land, then I can do everything I want. I did not draw a land, but I did draw an Inquisition of Kozilek, which means I know what's going to be in their hand. Hopefully it's not going to screw me over. It's a Sire of 7 Deaths. Okay. This game is locked. Barely. Just barely. I'm glad I didn't discard the Assassin's Trophy. Because now I can play this Blooming Marsh and I can hold it open. I genuinely think I might just discard this Orcish Bowmasters. I'm just going to do it now. I'm not going to worry about it. I really need to hold open this Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, I guess I pop the food. But what I really need right now is another Mill Rock. Hey, speaking of another Mill Rock, that's a Codex Shredder. If I can get that into play, then I'm going to feel very comfortable. I am going to trophy the Woodland now. They just let it go. Looks like they had F6'd. Do they take the shuffle? They are taking the shuffle. I just wanted the Kozilek's Command off the top of the deck. That's fine. Ugin's Labyrinth is fine. Okay, feeling much better now. I have 2 rocks. Now we can start working on those Kozilek's commands. Jeez, another one. I'm glad the Kozilek's commands came after I was ready for them. Ghost Quarter, I don't think I care about. Although that is a tell that they might have Ice Till Explorers in the deck. Interesting. The Hellergast Erupting Nullkite would let them draw 3 cards. And it gives creature spells emerge. I'm gonna say no to that. probably should not have used Pyxis because I should have saved Pyxis for the World Breaker. Oh yeah, if I let them kill their own World Breaker, then they can just bring it back. Yeah, that would be terrifying. I can safely put this to the graveyard, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. Okay. So I have to keep them off of ways to kill World Breaker. Which means if they play Dismembers, I have to keep them off of those. Sowing Mycospawn lets them tutor lands. Just in case there are nasty lands in their deck still, I'm going to take that out of the top of their deck. Kozilek's Return I don't care about. Okay. Although I guess I do care about Kozilek's Return, don't I? I'm going to pull that up. It deals 2 damage to each creature. When you cast an Eldrazi creature spell with converted mana cost 7 or greater, it deals 5. So I actually need to keep them off of Eldrazi spells with mana value 7 or greater for the rest of the game now. Oh, no, wait. I could just Inquisition it. I'm just going to Inquisition it. Okay, now they can only deal 5 damage instead of 7 damage. Sanctum of Ugin is bad. You may not have that. I'm not going to dig for additional mill rocks here. I don't think I need them. And they concede the game. They saw that they weren't getting out of it. A little bit loosey-goosey at the end, but I managed to pull it off regardless. All right, I will take that. I've started taking notes in between all of my games. It's been very nice. So what do I want to bring in against them? Duresses will take what? Malevolent Rumble. Kozilek's Command. They would probably be playing some number of Disruptor Flutes in the sideboard. Duress could answer those. I think I'd rather have Dreams of Steel and Oil. Bloodchief's Thirst is just bad. Inquisition of Kozilek's can answer all of the things that I just said, and they can also answer a couple of other stuff that I would care about. I don't want Grafdigger's Cage, and I don't think I want the Underworld Cookbook. That means I would want Dreams of Steel and Oil. And maybe Assassin's Trophy and Haywire Might? Do I think this is good? Orcish Bowmasters aren't great in this matchup, but it's probably better than whatever else I've got going on in my sideboard right now, with the exception of potentially Ashiok. I think I'm just going to keep it as is. I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much. You're right, Yuki. Thirst is good against Emrakul, and it can kill an Emrakul. But the problem with Emrakul is that it casts trigger, making me sacrifice my Lantern of Insights. I'm not particularly likely to die to an Emrakul unless it's like pseudo-hasted in with something like a Shifting Woodland. Like, Emrakul is a pretty big late game play. Side Salad, thank you for posting that list. I will take that a look at that in a minute. Dan, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And I will continue with the league, with the game, match, whatever I'm doing. This hand has discard technically. It has a lock technically. It does not have ensnaring bridge technically. My opponent has also begun the game with 7 cards in hand. I'm kind of worried about this. This is a very mediocre hand. I'm going to keep it, but it's not a great hand. Yeah, Emrakul, the promised end underneath of that Ugin's Labyrinth. I am going to fire off an Inquisition of Kozilek. I wish this was a Thoughtseize. Second Orcish Bowmasters is not what I wanted to see. Grab that Overgrown Tomb, pay 2 life, Inquisition you. And they just had Formidable Speaker. Yeah, I am going to take that Formidable Speaker, and I'm going to pass turn. And they had nothing to do, and I have a Thoughtseize, and I have a Lantern Lock. Probably should have played Thoughtseize there, but I'm sure it's fine. I don't care about Surgical Extraction. Not in the slightest. Things I do care about are Haragast Erupting Nullkite. And I guess I'll drop this Haywire Might. I don't think it matters that much. This Pithing Needle is almost certainly going to be going on Worldbreaker. Yeah, see, Surgical Extraction, they don't even care about it either. Formidable Speaker on top of their deck. They kept it there. And I am going to mill it. I don't want that there. I still Explorer, huh? They have Ghost Quarter. They could start Turbo Ghost Quartering my lands. They can actually cast that before having a single land drop. Well, I'm not sacrificing my Lantern to make them get rid of that. Here we go. Are they going to start turboing out Ghost Quarters? Nope. They're going to play a Verdant Catacombs, milling a Kozilek's Command. That's pretty good. I like that. Milling another Kozilek's Command off of the shuffle of the fetch land. Okay, so that's 2 out of 4 Kozilek's Commands gone. Okay. Now what do I do? Yeah, we can Needle Ghost Quarter, Yuki. You are right about that. I am not convinced I want to. Oh, there's a Pyxis on top of my deck. I think I might just hold everything. I have it. No, I have a Haywire Might in play. I'm going to play the Beseiju. I'm not going to attack here. And they're fetching off the Verdant Catacombs. I hope that they don't find a Worldbreaker. They found a Worldbreaker. Dang it, I should have played Pithing Needle when I had the chance. Oh, I should have played Pithing Needle when I had the chance. Yeah, this is getting out of control for me now. This Icetail Explorer has done a ton of work. Eldrazi Temple is down. See, if this Codex Shredder was a Pyxis, then I wouldn't even have to worry about... Oh, they're just Emrakulling me now. Right, they can do that. Right, they can just do that. Yeah. I'm in trouble. What do I need to do here? I need an ensnaring bridge. That's what I need. This Haywire Might is now an active liability. They can make me shuffle this Lantern of Insight away. I think I want to deny them the option to do that, so I am just going to exile it. And I'm going to cast my hand. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Yeah, I should have played the Pithing Needle when I had the chance. That would have made it so that the Pithing Needle would already be down. They couldn't put it on something completely irrelevant. Yep, here we go. Not even something completely irrelevant, just actively putting it on Pyxis of Pandemonium. They're gonna eat all of my stuff. And I am just dead. It doesn't matter what I draw here. I drew Urza Saga, just doesn't matter. They had a World Breaker in the graveyard. Okay, so I could have played that a little bit better, I think, if I had put down Needle the turn that I said I needed to put down Needle instead of just holding open the Haywire Might for no reason. But at the end of the day, I did actually, in fact, get got by Emrakul the Promised End just being hardcast, which is something I said earlier that was unlikely to happen. Do I want to make any sideboarding changes? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it back. And be better with my stuff this time, I suppose. All right. Be on the play. This hand trades with a lot of stuff and then just gets run over. I think I'm gonna mulligan. This hand does nothing. This hand does nothing. I'm gonna keep. Bottom Shredder, bottom Haywire Might, bottom Pyxis. And cry. What a horrible punish. Mulled a mediocre 7 and just went straight to 4. I can't afford to draw this Dreams of Steel and Oil. At least I have Pyxis instead of whatever the heck else I had. Codex Shredder. Codex Shredder, man. I would love a Codex Shredder that exiles instead of milling, and that can target any number of players. Wow, that Malevolent Rumble revealed 2 more Malevolent Rumbles. That was a terrible Rumble. I think I just have to exile this Dreams off the top of my deck. Oh my god, seriously? Well, yeah, I have no lands. I can't do anything. Talisman of Impulse is coming down. The hero has 4 cards in hand that I don't know about. Surely they can win the game with even just 1 or 2 of those. Oh, that is a formidable speaker. Yep. They're going to search their deck for a World Breaker now. Instead, they found Sowing Mycospawn. How evil of you to search for Sowing Mycospawn in a situation like this. Oh my god. Well, I'm going to lose my only land. Yeah, do we really have to play this out? I don't think we have to play this out. I don't think we have to play this out. I'm going to go ahead and concede this game. Wow. Just destroyed by the Mold of 4. That was terrible. That was actually horrible. All right, well, let's shake it off and move on to match 5. And yeah, I would love Pyxis with a choice. That is what I want. I just want Pyxis with a choice. I would play 4 of those. And then Pyxis would suddenly become the worst mill rock. What a game. Maybe if I had played game 2 a little bit better, I would have won the match. But I don't know about that either. Just kind of needed an ensnaring bridge. I needed Pyxis, not Codex Shredder. Here, give me a second. I made some updates to the UI while I was on break, and I refreshed the wrong thing on accident. It's fine, it happens. Yeah, you're right, Salad. With all of the Lurrus and stuff, you just need to clear out the graveyard. You can't be farting around with Shredders. Lurrus is everywhere in Vintage, actually. It's like one of the top decks, isn't it? Just fair Lurrus control, just force your stuff, and the way that so I watch a lot of the Eternal Glory podcast, and I watch a lot of the creators that work on that. So Bosch and Roll, Brian Koval, Thraben Yu, Phil Gallagher, and the Epic Storm, Bryant Cook. And every single time Brian Koval describes the top deck in Vintage, which is Blue-Black Lurrus, or Blue-Black X Lurrus, they say that the deck is trying to roll ankles and make Vintage decks play Legacy. And when Vintage decks play Legacy, then it just out-legacies the Vintage decks. Seems pretty accurate. Oh, Mono White Initiative. I suppose I can understand why it would hold that spot. It's pretty easy to pick up. I'm on the draw. Oh, no, actually. I'm on the draw in match 5 versus goals versus goals. I can't keep this hand. This is Lantern with top double mill rock, yeah, I guess, but it just doesn't do anything else. I can keep this one, and I can bottom the Mox Opal, and I can pray that Profane Tutor does what it's supposed to do. Basic Island Pass. Basic Island Pass. What does that mean? Force of Negation exiling Subtlety on my Inquisition of Kozilek? What on earth are you cooking with? Is this... Oh, it's Living End. Okay. Like, it could have been Blue-Green Birthing Ritual. It could have been Blink, I guess. But the Force of Negation isn't commonly played in the main in those decks, as far as I know. But yeah, Living End is an option. It's a thing that you can play. Wow, just got a free bin off that street right. That's great. They forced my Inquisition last turn. I think I'm going to Inquisition them again. I just ripped it. Oh, they had double Shardless Agents. Come on. Well, there goes the game. Because if I had simply suspended Profane Tutor, then I would be able to do a lot more stuff. But the way that they so aggressively forced that turn 1 Inquisition just told me that they only had one Cascader in hand. But no, Hollowed Fountain's going to come down. Shardless Agent's going to come down, and I'm going to die. Here's the Living End. They revealed a ton of stuff off that Living End. Let's see what they got. Press the Enemy, which is relatively stock in Living End builds now, as like a one of. Waker of Waves, that's expected. Striped Riverwinder, Curator of Mysteries, Endurance. These are all expected. And now, casually, I am facing down 10 power. There is still a very slim chance here. They would have to do literally nothing. But I might be able to survive this. I would net 8 now. Oh, did I miscount? Yeah, I miscounted. Ooh, I miscounted. That's not good. I was expecting to take a hit for 10, but instead I took a hit for 12. Yeah, if Profane Tutor was coming off Suspend this turn, I would be in pretty decent shape. But instead, I have to Blood Chief's Thirst this Generosent and just hope that resolves. And if it doesn't, I die. Yeah, if they just have like a Force of Negation or a Sink into Stupor, yeah, that'll do it. So that game brought to you by Inquisitioning an opponent when you should have suspended Profane Tutor. I got baited. Not much to say about it. So what am I going to do against this opponent? Duress. Get in the deck. Please. I have Ashiok that I could use, and I think I actually might. What am I taking out? Spot removal's not good. The Assassin's Trophies can come out. The Orcish Bowmasters actually might come out. Jumping for a turn or two just doesn't seem really good against them. They don't draw a ton of cards. I guess they cycle some, but it's just, I don't think that's where I want to be against this deck. Grafdigger's Cage is actively bad. The Underworld Cookbook seems okay-ish. My problem isn't going to be getting my hand empty. Cursed Totem is bad. Corporate Orb is bad. Haywire Might is bad. Maybe I do bring in my trophies then. I don't know about that. Spot removal is just not good against them. I could bring in Bowmasters. Just as something to do. All right, I'll bring in Bowmasters. I could bring in Dreams of Steel and Oil. That's a good point. But I think that attacks them on the wrong axis. I really want to be taking their counter magic. One land. I can't do anything with this. Don't keep one-landers. Instead, keep these. And bottom, I suppose, the second lantern. Really wishing that I had a discard spell of any type. All right, so they've got a Temple Garden on top of their deck. That's great for me. Oh, they're shocking it in, huh? All right. I am not going to do the Bowmasters thing. I'm just going to suspend Profane Tutor right away. They don't want that living end, so they're cycling Generous End here. Found a Breeding Pool. Profane Tutor is going to be coming off Suspend soon. I've got another one on top of my deck. I think... I don't know. I don't want them having this Force of Vigor, but they've got just so many cyclers in hand. I'm just not sure if that matters what I want. I think I need to suspend another Profane Tutor. I don't think I'm going to mess around with that. Oh, they are just using Waker of Waves. Yeah, I'm going to have them shuffle. They did not have a Street Wraith, fortunately. Cat, please take a hint. Thank you. All right, they've still just got 3 lands, but they have a decent amount of stuff in the graveyard, and they are just going to start bringing it back. And suddenly I'm facing 15 power. I was not prepared for this. I need a discard spell. I need a second land. These Orcish Bowmasters are just rotting in my hand right now. I've got a third Profane Tutor that I don't really want. I don't have any board wipes in my sideboard. I would have brought in a board wipe if I had it. Ashiok is way too slow. I think I just need Ensnaring Bridge and just pray, I guess. Play Boseiju as a land. And it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it now. They're going to counter this with a Force Negation, and I'm going to die. Oh, they're going to let it resolve, and then they're going to bounce it with a Sink into Stupor, and then I'm going to die. Or they can Beseiju it. That works too. Yeah, I'll search. Grab a Overgrown Tomb, I suppose. Take 17. Jeez. Well, fortunately, I have another Profane Tutor on Suspend. They didn't have counter spells the last time. So maybe they won't have counter spells this time either. Just maybe. Copium. Super duper Copium. Discard spell. Nope. It is a Dark Ward pathway. Okay. Well, I need to just play that out. And then I actually need everything to resolve here. Yeah, I just need to play out Ensnaring Bridge. Like, there's just nothing else I can do. Okay, that worked. Do I fall to 1 so that I can put Profane Tutor on Suspend? Actually, I'm gonna put Pithing Needle down. And I'm gonna fall to 1 this way. And instead of naming Beseiju, I'm actually named Otawara. I'm about 80% certain that most lists only play 1 Beseiju. But they play more Otawaras. Yeah, they're finding Hedge Maze off of this Generascent. Playing it as their land for turn immediately. I don't know what they have in hand here. But it's not really interacting with what I'm doing. I'm gonna fall to 1. Now I have choices. I can Fomori Vault, discard something, and die. I can suspend Profane Tutor, which I think is just better, and then play this Blooming Marsh, and then hold open Bowmasters. And pray, I guess. But the hero's deck is just full of cycling. They're gonna eventually find a Sink into Stupor and just kill me. Or a Force of Vigor, that works too. All right. Yep, well played. Oh, man, not having a discard spell that game was kind of scary. Jeez. It happens. Here, give me a second. So I went and reviewed my footage for that matchup, and the opening hand that I kept was kind of not great. Wasn't a great opening hand. I don't think I necessarily made many mistakes in that game. I think that I just had 2 lands, and the Profane Tutors were a little bit awkward in that game, and I don't know. Like, I had that Pithing Needle. I guess I could have put Pithing Needle on Boseiju at some point, but if I had done that, then I wouldn't have been able to suspend Profane Tutor and get the cards that I needed at the times I needed them. I'm not sure. Also, I had 10 discard spells, and I didn't see one. That sucks. That's fine. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Give me just a second. Okay. I'm reviewing the notes that I took for this league, and I made some decisions that could have gone either way. Things like the firing off the Inquisition on turn 1 and turn 2 against the living end opponent. If I had just fired off Profane Tutor instead, I think I would have had a better time. And of course, the punt against the Eldrazi Ramp player, where I had the Pithing Needle in hand. I should have dropped it. I just chose not to for some reason. That just was inexcusable. I think that was just bad decision making. The living end choice to fire off the Inquisition on turn 2, like that's possibly more excusable. I guess things just didn't really come together this league. I wasn't really able to find locks when I needed locks, and it was just a little bit difficult. I don't know if that is a reflection on the deck list, but it's kind of a reflection on Assassin's Trophy, I suppose. Trophy got stuck in my hand more than once, and part of the reason for that was that I didn't have enough green sources, I think. It was just so awkward in so many positions. Having it be a 2-drop instead of a 1-drop just really wrecks the curve. I kind of liked having 22 lands. I'm not going to be going off of 22 lands anytime soon, I think. Having that extra land in there is just, it's nice. Helps smooth things out just a little bit more. To be honest, maybe Trophy is a crutch. Just maybe. Maybe Trophy is not what you want to be doing. And I suppose we did play against a number of matches where Orcish Bowmasters actually wasn't all that good. So I have been on a run with this card for a while. Maybe it's time for me to start playing Lantern control lists that don't have Orcish Bowmasters in them and instead do something else. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but I think it might be time for me to explore different spaces. And of course, the sideboard needs some work too. Against stuff like Living End, I didn't really have many tools besides the additional Duresses. Against Eldrazi, I didn't really have many tools either. I think my matchup versus Affinity is fine. I don't know. I'm gonna have to meditate on this a little bit, think about it, look at Goldfish, and figure out what's going on with the meta, and probably do some more adjusting. But I do think that one of the biggest takeaways here is that a Trophy and maybe even Bowmasters are just possibly underperforming, or at least they did in this league. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I've got 73 views on this stream, 8 people in right now. I had a lot of folks chatting today. I'm really grateful for y'all just coming in, hanging out for a while. I know that some people don't like chatting. That's perfectly fine. I am not going to be holding that against you in the slightest, of course. That would just be very silly of me, I think. Give me a second. But yeah, I had a fun time, as I always do. The biggest thing is that starting tomorrow, I am going to be playing pre-modern. So I have been working with Crucible of Worlds, Cyrus Bales, on getting a pre-modern list sorted. And this is the starting point for it. So this is a list that I ripped from MTG Top 8. I have made no changes to the list in the slightest. And it is literally just using Zer's Weirding to control the top card of people's decks. It also has Wand of Denial in it. I like Wand of Denial to a certain extent. I think Zer's Weirding is a harder lock. And this format has Words of Worship in it, which makes Zer's Weirding very, very, very hard. Unfortunately, there is no Rest in Peace or anything like that. Dan, Lantern control as it is in Modern does not exist. This is the closest thing that you're going to find. So, Lantern of Insight is not legal. None of the Mill Rocks are legal. Thoughtseize is not legal. But we do have all this random BS. Just random stuff. And all this stuff is legal. So I'm going to try this list tomorrow. Crucible of Words is going to be releasing his video, which is like it's not really a collab video. It's just we're playing the same list. We're shouting at each other's channels. He's going to be releasing his video on this deck probably sometime this week, I think, actually. Let me see if it's already out. Just looking at his channel. It is not already out. Oh. No. It is actually posted, but it's not going to release quite yet. Yeah, there it is. He actually made the video. It's not released yet, though. It's for patrons. For members, I guess. I'm a member of his Patreon, but not a member of his YouTube. that's great. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm sorry for messing around a bunch at the end of the stream. Just not being super focused, I suppose. But thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, make it into a nice pretty video, and I will see you tomorrow for pre-modern. Hopefully I do a decent job with this deck with all of my Lantern control experience, letting me go 2-3 in the modern leagues.